So, happy Monday night, baby. We're just chilling in the Earlverse tonight with Kamala. I'll just clean my desk until people come in. Hope you guys had a good weekend and that you all got whatever you need to do. Eddie Siciliano, Stugats. Well, Axel, welcome to my world, baby. But that's why I'm here, to entertain you. And put you in a better mood. What up, geese? Geese. I'm experimenting with new angles. Good evening, Tim Rose. Stars lost 5 in a row. Kings won a very contested game with the Edmonton Oilers, who were very shorthanded. Well, Axel, if you don't like hanging out with me, get the fuck out. I'm in too good of a mood for you to ruin my mood. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only guy streaming right now. So you guys can go to Ray DeVito's stream. You could go to Pat Dixon's stream. You could watch MLC. I don't give a fuck. What up, Art? I'm a comedy soldier. Oh, but you're... Oh, okay. Then never mind. You can stay then. I didn't know you were going to call me funny. My bad. My bad. I'm just fucking around, dude. I know you guys have a lot of streaming options, so I appreciate the love and respect that you guys give me. Dodgers Rockies. This is a hockey stream, baby. Kings will play the Edmonton Oilers in the first round with home ice. So, well, then, go and watch Dane Cook's live stream. I won't be offended. Dane Cook probably is on. I think he does live stream, someone told me. But I got to be honest with you, I don't keep up with what Dane Cook does. So I might be speaking out of school. Someone told me he does, but I don't know. Maybe it was an Instagram live or something. I mean, I've had 2 interactions with him. One was good, one was bad. So, that's all I can judge him on. So, I always give people the one chance rule. Now, the first interaction I had with him was a bad one. He was kind of a dick. But you know what? I thought maybe he had a bad day, bad breakup, had an audition that he wanted, he didn't get. And then the second time when he judged my roast battle on television, he was cool. So I don't really know, and I haven't seen him since. I have not been in a room with Dane since my roast battle in the belly room, and that was that like June of 2016. So, I mean, I can imagine Dane's channel's pretty popular. So, I I'm sure he streams. Obviously he doesn't need to stream for the money, but that's the ironic thing. He doesn't need the money, but he probably makes the money on a stream with probably 1,000 people in there. So, but that's the world of stand-up. Those who don't need it, get it. I had an ex-girlfriend tell me it's good to want, not need. So I'm happy with the 11 people I have in here. You guys are Earl soldiers. And I appreciate you guys being in the Earl world. It's not for everybody, my world. Yeah, I mean, I don't imagine he probably doesn't have, I would imagine he doesn't really necessarily have the time to stream, but, I also, maybe he does. So, I don't know. I mean, he's probably pretty funny on a stream. I can imagine the trolls that he gets. Um, so, I mean, if I'm getting trolled, he's getting trolled. Um, so, hold on here. So there you go. All right, I'm just I got a copyright strike on one of my videos. So I'm just trying to rectify that problem. And I believe I've rectified it. I don't have a producer, so I have to do things on my own. Have you seen Kyle Dunnigan and Preston? I have not. I don't watch Kill Tony. I know he did it on Kill Tony, so I don't watch Kill Tony. So, but I heard it was very funny. Kyle's very funny, so I think I've done a show or two with him. So, and I'm not telling you guys to not watch Kill Tony. I'm just saying I don't watch it. So, there you go. He's very funny, and I think he got the Rogan bump. So good for him. I don't mind when good things happen to good people. So, we all can use the Papa Joe bump, myself included. I mean, I've only got 5 people in here. If I did Rogan, I'd probably have like 500 people in here. That would be pretty fucking cool. But until then, I will give you guys my best. All 5 of you. Because I love you guys. Please check out my new comedy shorts I released this morning. Let's get Papa Skakel into the algorithm, please. I would appreciate that. And hit the like and subscribe button if you are new to the stream. I would appreciate that. But I believe that everyone in here are longtime soldiers. So, thank you for your patronage. And I may seem like I'm mocking you, but I am not. I'm sincerely thankful. We are live AC/DC. We got Wayne Gretzky in the house, and 9 people and 9 likes. Mr. Crew, Paul Wrecking Crew. Everyone is not moving to Austin. I am a long-time LA comedy soldier. I will never move to Austin. I might go there, but I'm not going to move there. I think the Austin comedy scene will be just fine without me. And I don't really want to live in the same city as Brian Callen, so I'm good. No, thank you. And if that means I never get on Rogan because I don't like Brian Callen, then I'm okay with that too. 100, see, Crew gets it. Crew knows how to come in hot and make an impact. And I have to read that. Jeff Ross blows Chandler Doll's nuts. I mean, if Jeff even looked at Chandler, Chandler would kill him. I'm not talking about the Chandler Doll. That's one of the things I miss about Chandler was she didn't give a fuck. But anyway, you know, for those of you, well, there's not that many people in here. 7-Eleven, we're at 7-Eleven. Let's get a Slurpee together. I'm in a good mood. Had a yoga class tonight that cleansed my mind of all the comedy bullshit I have to go through on a daily basis. And the LA comedy world is in turmoil right now. And of course, everybody calls me. Grasshopper, you could have said that in all caps. There's two people who have all caps privileges in here. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, Hi-Fi Protege, and any Jeff Ross insults can be written in all caps. What up? Want to say News 90. You know, we're a small stream. We don't have a lot of rules. Okay, I don't know what that means. We don't speak Bangladeshi here. It's English only, unfortunately, because that's all I know. I do know a little bit of Spanish. Beso mi culo, grande cabeza. Chinga, well, no, I'm not going to say that, but what up, William Zoom Zoom? We're just doing a nice stream. I'm just chilling right now. I love you, my dear brother. The guy who got me fake followers for my podcast was from Bangladesh. That son of a bitch. But that's okay. I can take it. I can deal with it, brother. I'm glad I have fans all over the world. For a comic who nobody knows who I am, I sure do have a lot of international fans. Earl, live from Bangladesh. Wouldn't that be a bip? Yes, I outsource. I outsource for the fans, and I did outsource for podcast downloads. But I got caught. Busted. Stone cold busted. And I'm kind of glad I did. All right. My video is ready to be monetized. Thank you very much. What's your favorite comedian? I don't really have a favorite comedian. Harold Andrew DeWitt said on the latest edition of StockQuest that he wants you to bang his wife. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't get involved. I'm not steel toe. We don't do wife swaps in here. I don't have anyone to swap. So ho. So I'm gonna have to take a hard pass on that. Show me the money, honey. Who's my favorite comedian? I don't really have one, to be honest with you. So because I don't watch comedy. But if you put a gun to my head and said, name your favorite comedian, motherfucker, I'd probably go Anthony Jeselnik. I like his material, and I like how he conducts his business. He doesn't fuck around. He doesn't hang out at the store. He does a set and leaves. Do you have a favorite Western movie? The one with Tom Berenger and William Catt, was it Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? And with Brian Dennehy as the bad guy. You are my favorite comedian from this generation. Well, I appreciate that. Um, I've got a long way to go, certainly, but um, you know, not many 56-year-old comics pop, but I still actually enjoy. I did not hear that. Um, so, um, condolences, I guess. Was that recently, William? I'm not sure how many sons he has. He's probably 10 years older than me. So, um, you know, always got to be hard when you lose a son or a family member. You never think your parents are going to outlive your children. So I am sipping and slipping on a Ghost sour lemonade. Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank Tattoo Mania on Sunset Boulevard for sneaking me into the Rainbow concert last night, where I got to see my good friend, the bass player from Slash's Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and he's was filling in on bass last night for Michael Monroe, the great Todd Kearns, who's been on an Inappropriate Earl podcast episode. Thank you to Tattoo Mania for sneaking me in. And I got to sit at a VIP table, and I saw an X. I got X's all over the place, man. I can't escape. And because of the group of people I was sitting with, nobody talks bad about the crew I was sitting with. I can't really get into who they are, but let's just say they run the Rainbow. So I'm protected up there. Thank you very much. What up, Deepak? I'm all right. We're just doing a nice stream at 10:19 in the evening. Yes, it's a great group of friends to have, to be frank. So, yeah, big win for the Kings. And, that's the good thing about the Kings tonight. They were basically playing an AHL team, and they should win 5-0. If they would have won like 3-2 in overtime, I'm like, oh, they should have killed this team. Because the Oilers were playing without Ekblad, McDavid, and Draisaitl. You could tell Nugent Hopkins is hurt, but he still played. And unfortunately, though, Darnell Nurse cross-checked Quentin Byfield in the head while his head was on the ice. So, that's didn't look good. Do you do sets every? Well, I don't know. The store's in a bit of flux right now, if you will. So I could be getting more spots, or I could be getting no spots in the future. So usually I close out the main room every Saturday night. That may change. I think they were trying to control the game. I think they knew the Oilers were gonna not goon it up, like fight, but and it worked. I don't think there was one fight. My voice is very heavy. This is CNN. EA Sports. It's in the game. And this is no filter. Lois is sleeping right now. She was coughing up a storm earlier, so we're gonna keep Lois off of camera tonight. I don't want to wake her up and disturb her beauty sleep. Um, I don't know what that means, Gustavo. Well, want to say News 90. If you can't understand my voice, baby, like, I don't know what to tell you. Cast and Blast. What up? Yeah, I mean, Dimmadog looks good. I mean, it's going to be a big game. Is the makeup game from the California Fires Thursday night, the Kings and the Flames. Um, I don't need anything, Gustav. Living life is not easy. I'll give you that much, especially the life of a Los Angeles-based comic. It ain't easy, brothers and sisters. But that's okay. Tomorrow, the season 2 debut of The Valley is on Bravo. So if you like reality TV like I do, check it out. I'll be at Jax Taylor's bar, Jax's, tomorrow night with some mystery guests at my table. We cannot divulge who they will be. Have you seen anyone named? No, I've never heard of that person. They're not a Comedy Store person, I can assure you of that much. But I'm sure they've never seen me either. So there you go. It's not like I'm the most famous comic in the world. I'm sure a lot of people do not know the name Earl Skakel. I'm from Los Angeles, California, the United States of America. I've never watched Breaking Bad. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish up Landman. I think I have 4 episodes of that. And then I'm going to finish up. I never saw the last episode of Tulsa King. And then I'm going to pick something on Netflix to watch, maybe Breaking Bad. I got to watch the new season of Bosch. It's the last season of Bosch. So I might, I got some shows to catch up on. As you know, I'm a big Titus Welliver fan, so I love me some Bosch. I'm not sure what that means. Cast and Blast, a little creepy. Yeah, I mean, I think my Netflix without commercials is like $24 now. I mean, I remember back in the day. Let's see what's on Amazon. I think I'm still a member of Amazon. It was like $12, $11. I'm like, okay, this is fucking reasonable. But, $12 it's a little much, to be honest with you. Hold on. All right, let's see. What is the Amazon TV show? Amazon Prime. So let's see what's. I tried to get into Reacher. I just couldn't do it, man. Customers on White Lotus. I mean, I've seen that. I thought Bosch was on here. The Bondsman. Oh, I mean, that sounds like something I'd watch. Reacher, Wheel Time, Invincible, The Chosen. I'm not sure what that's about. Beast Games, Fallout. I haven't heard of any of these fucking shows. Documentary TV. I thought Bosch was on Amazon. Am I not? Let me see here. I got RuPaul's Drag Race. Watch that. Kids, mystery and thriller TV. I really thought Bosch was on the new season, the last season of Bosch. I don't know what you're talking about, want to say. All right, well, maybe I gotta. Oh, man, I haven't. Okay, let's see. At free drama TV. Let's click Bosch. Episode 1. Oh, season 1. Bosch season 2. Bosch season 4. Season 6. Bosch season 7. Oh, okay. Did I watch Bosch season 7? Let's see what's going on. Let's see. I'm pretty sure interesting. So, and then let's see what else is on. I don't think I ever saw Bosch Legacy. Let's see what Bosch Legacy. Harry Bosch, retired homicide detective turned private investigator, fights to work cases without the authority his former job provided. Attorney Honey Money Chandler. How is that for a character's name? It covers everything we talk about in this stream. Honey Money Chandler. Having survived an attempted murder, struggles to maintain her faith in the justice system. And Maddie Bosch discovers the possibilities and challenges of being a rookie patrol cop on the streets of Los Angeles. Well, maybe we'll check that out. We'll leave this window open. I want to say News 90. What are you talking about, man? Come on. This is a simple stream run by a simple person. Yeah, I mean, that's a Skakel classic right there. Thank you, that monoxide poison. I appreciate that. Much love, much love. I mean, maybe I'll give Reacher a second look. I just couldn't get through it the first time. I don't know why. I like that show with John Krasinski. Was it Jack Ryan? Anything with that bald guy. What's his name? He's in all these shows. He was in Lioness too. Michael something or other. How many children do you have? But that's a little personal, Deepak. Why don't you ask me how much money I make next? And then I'll send you my 1099s and social security number while I'm at it. PayPal me or send me a super chat and I'll tell you how many children I have. I mean, I got to make some money, honey. Well, I say I'll give it a second look. I couldn't get through the first season of The Wire. And then one night, I think I was tired or bored or probably both. And I was like, fuck it, I'll watch The Wire. I'll try and start The Wire again. And I was so hooked that I literally watched all 5 seasons in like 2 weeks. So, yeah, PayPal Daddy Skakel. Show me the money, honey. I mean, you guys are killing me, man. I want to say, I'm not liking your energy. I got to put you in timeout for 24 hours. I can't deal with these people sometimes. Speaking gibberish. No, we don't talk about Diddy in here. I'm not sure what your angle is there, Victor Olive. But we don't do that kind of discussion in here. I've never been to a Diddy party. Do I look like a type of guy who's been to a Diddy party? No, don't answer that question. Hey-o. Yeah, I don't know what his angle is. I mean, he's not spamming. He's just talking gibberish. He just wants attention. So now you got 24 hours to go on someone else's stream. Be interesting or be funny, but just don't speak gibberish. So, William Zoom, I trust your instincts. Tom Myers, $5. We in Baltimore are still pissed that The Wire is listed as fiction and not a documentary. That's a fact, Jack. Thank you, Tom Myers. Everyone go support Tom Myers on his channel and listen to his podcast, which I was on. And I don't know if I'll be in Baltimore anytime soon or New York. Hopefully, New York for Gutfeld. But, have you been to the Comedy Mothership? If so, what's your thoughts? I did perform there, I think about 4 months ago. I was treated very nice as soon as I walked into the green room, which not everyone gets to do, apparently. I mean, people were like grabbing me after, how did you get in the green room? Maybe I've been a comic for 25 years. Maybe that's how I got in. And Joe was on a phone call. He ended the call right away, gave me a big hug. Welcome to my club. Ba, ba, ba. I was on Brian Holtzman's show. I had a good set. Probably the best of the night, to be honest with you. And then I did Red Band's club before that, which is right next door. So thank you, Tom, very much. I mean, I enjoyed it. Oh, is it like, yeah, I mean, I lose track of time in comedy. Would I go back? I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great club to perform at if you're in Rogan's inner circle. You get treated like a Navy SEAL. But if you're kind of like me, where, I mean, Joe likes me, but I'm not in his inner circle, I don't know if it makes a lot of sense to do. But I didn't have a negative experience. I just, there's too many people ahead of me up there. And I just put in way too much time in LA comedy to go to Austin and be like 40th in line up Joe's ass. I just, fuck that, man. But, he doesn't dislike me, so that's a win to me. As an audience member, I think it's a great club. Yeah, he's mentioned me a few times. It's always in a positive. It's never been in a negative way. So it doesn't if you are not being paid or on his show. Yeah, I mean, I would go, if he said, Earl, do you want to come and talk about the latest events at the Comedy Store? I'd be there tomorrow. And I'd be a good person to talk about it because I've been there. I've been on the front lines at the Comedy Store for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, I think he likes me. I don't think he loves me, but, as long as I'm not on his fucking hit list, we don't have to talk that much. But, I think sometimes I think he thinks I'm some rich kid doing comedy, which I don't think he knows the work I put in. But what up, Kip Smith? We got 2 of the 4 mods in the house taking names and kicking ass. So as an audience member, though, I think it's a great club. They put your phone in the little, it's called a yonder bag. So you're kind of forced to be engaged and watch the show, which as a comic, I loved. It was much more energetic than, I've seen people literally on their phones in the front row checking their Instagram. And I get it. You don't like the show or you don't like the particular comic that's on stage, but it is kind of distracting and, disheartening to see, you're up there after, 25 years of fucking putting in the time and you see some twat on her phone. It's like, he has said you're rich and doing comedy. But I mean, that's not exactly the reputation I want the number 1 comic in the world to think of me. Like, and I'm not rich. Like, rich is Joe. When you're making 100 million plus a year, that's rich to me. When you're Russell Peters and you live in a $10 million home, that's rich to me. So I think rich is relative. It's like comedy, what's rich? To an open mic level comic who lives in a studio apartment with 5 other comics, I'm rich. To me, Rogan's rich. To Rogan, probably Elon Musk is rich. Now, I don't think too many people are rich to Elon Musk, but you know what I'm saying. You get the picture. So, yeah, I mean, like in the one thing that that one time, I think Ari Shaffir, Rogan, and Hinchcliffe were talking about, someone brought up wearing leather and I think Tony's like, Skakel wears leather pants, and Joe was like, yeah, that's because he's rich. I mean, D'Elia's dad is 100 times worth more than what my family wealth is. I mean, all those TV shows and the publishing and the SAG checks. So I'm not, I got enough money to buy a Monster or Ghost Energy drink and a Kamala doll, but so I'm rich for me and my needs. Um, well, he probably has more than 200 million in the bank account. If you look at, he's been a successful comic for shit 25 years. I mean, when was News Radio on? And Fear Factor, and then the podcast, and then I mean his touring. The last 20 years, he's been a famous comic, like a super famous comic. Before then, he was a working comic. So that's rich to me. So yeah, okay. So mid 90s, let's say 95. So that's 30 years he's been a successful comic. And probably made a few bucks before those 30 years. It's probably like 1990. He was probably headlining like a shitty B room for a couple grand. So, hey now, Leo Gunn in the house. Um, I hardly think I'm rich, and it's not me being humble or whatever. I mean, um, you know, but it's also because of the neighborhood I grew up in. I mean, when your next door neighbor is Howard Keck, and most people are like, who the fuck is Howard Keck? Well, his name's on I think it's on the side of the USC Medical Building. So you got some money, honey, if USC's slapping your name on the building. He was an oil guy along the line of like T. Boone Pickens. So when you're in the stratosphere of T. Boone Pickens, you got the money, honey. So I never saw Number One Son. I mean, I saw the clip Kevin played on it. Yeah, but Blue Blood, what does that mean? I mean, the Kennedys make no money. Kennedy, you talk about, crew, I don't know if you're still here. You talk about me being a grifter. The Kennedys are the ultimate grifters. When my sister got married, she asked every one of Ethel's kids, do you want to come to my wedding? And they were like, yeah, our appearance fee is usually 20 grand, but for you, we'll do it for 10. Like, you don't know my sister. And she's like, oh, fuck off. So yeah, we don't talk about other people's nipples in here. Like, this is not a grinder preview stream. This is a straight edge stream. Kennedy's made their money. Yeah, bootlegging, but now, it's not like they invested well in the bootlegging proceeds. So, you look at, RFK Jr., he's a fucking grifter. He called Kamala's hair. I'm starting so hard to not call her Kamala. Kamala Harris's campaign before he called Trump's campaign. So, like, he was playing playing the field. So, um, the point is he makes his money probably doing public appearances and like fucking seminars and stuff. I did not feel the earthquake, and Lois usually is my first sign of something's going down. She feels them every time, and like she'll start barking and running in a circle. But I think it was centered in I think Hermosa Beach or something. So, I'm not, complaining that RFK Jr. was the only one to do it. I'm just saying, he's a grifter. If I was running for president and winning, he would call my campaign and say, "Hey, Skakel, man, let's be buds." Earl, can you please tell me the story about the football you threw against the wall when you were a kid? Man, that hurts, Matt. That hurts. So yeah, it's been a while since I've told that story. So my dad was what his I don't know if I'd say it was his best friend, but they were very good friends with Art Rooney, the OG owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So every year the Pittsburgh Steelers won a Super Bowl in the 70s, 4 out of 6 years, Art Rooney would send me not my brothers, he would send me a game used Super Bowl ball that was autographed by the majority of the team. Now, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s, it might never happen again because of salary cap constraints, but on the offensive line alone, you had Mike Webster, Hall of Famer. You then had Terry Bradshaw, Hall of Famer. Franco Harris, Hall of Famer. I believe Rocky Blyer is a Hall of Famer. John Stallworth and Len Swan, Hall of Famer. So on the offensive side of the football, you had 6 Hall of Famers. On the defensive side of the football, I believe Mean Joe Green's in the Hall of Fame. Jack Lambert's in the Hall of Fame. Jack Ham is in the Hall of Fame. I think L.C. Greenwood is in the Hall of Fame. And I think Mel Blount is in the Hall of Fame. So that's 12, I think, Hall of Fame autographs and a game-used Super Bowl ball. Now, there would be no way to verify that. But, and even though I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, I was kind of raised like an only child because I was the favorite. I mean, come on. And so I would throw these footballs against the wall and they'd bounce back at me. And so obviously the autographs all wore off. And then I lost the footballs. So now, if I would have been smart and put those footballs in a plastic case like I did my Ken Griffey autograph, not Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., that autograph looks like Ken Griffey Sr. just signed it 5 minutes ago. It's so fucking pristine. Who knows what those balls would have been worth. I mean, 12 Hall of Fame autographs, Super Bowl game-used ball. I don't know how you would verify that, but, because there's always bullshit stories in memorabilia land. My friend was the locker room attendant, and he gave me this Ilya Kovalchuk jersey. There's really no way to verify that. So, yeah, I mean, if they were in pristine condition, probably $100,000, maybe more. I mean, how many sports memorabilia items have 12 Hall of Fame autographs on it? I mean, maybe 1, 2 autographs. Maybe if you I don't know, had I don't know, Larry Holmes, or maybe if you had Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier autograph a boxing glove or something, that's 2 Hall of Fame autographs, but 12, I would assume it'd be more than that. Yeah, I mean, the Steel Curtain was Mean Joe Green, L.C. Greenwood, Dwight White, and who was the 4th? Ernie Holmes. I don't believe Ernie Holmes or Dwight White are in the Hall of Fame. And if one or both of them are, that's 14 Hall of Fame autographs. And Art Rooney made everyone sign that fucking football. Hey, this is for my friend Jim Skakel's kid. Sign the ball. Yeah. Lois is, she just woke up. And then this is when she coughs the most. So I apologize. But, she's not in pain. It's just, it's a collapsed trachea. Not much I can do about it. Hit the like and subscribe button for Lois. If not for me, do it for Lois. And she will thank you when she can, in between coughs. So, I appreciate that. It is a great story, although, now I'm a memorabilia freak, so when I get something, I put it in a glass case, or I make sure it's in a non-dusty area. That Arthur's Kaliev hockey stick I have, I'm very careful when I handle it. Yes, they were called the Steel Curtain. Yes, they are back together touring, Leo Gunn. It's the Stephen Pearcy DeMartini experience. It's Stephen Pearcy on vocals, Warren DeMartini on lead guitar, Blas Elias from Slaughter on drums, Matt Thorne, original bass player in Rat, and Rough Cut on bass, and rhythm guitarist Carlos Cavazo, who you may know from Quiet Riot. So, it ain't Rat. I don't think Steven and Warren get along with Juan and Bobby, so you'll never see 4 out of the 5 members of Rat touring as a entity. And listen, would I love to see the original? Well, they weren't the original, but the classic lineup of Rat plus Carlos Cavazo on rhythm guitar. Sure, but I don't mind him with Blas Elias. You could tell Blas is having fun. Slaughter's not really touring much, so and not that Rat or Piercy DiMartini are doing like a 200 city tour, but I think Blas has saved his money. He probably made a fortune in Blue Man Group, and DiMartini's wife has tons of money. I think from the Mars Candy thing. So that was also part of the problem. Is like Piercy and Blotzer would probably play a backyard barbecue at my condo if we offered them enough money. Where Warren DiMartini's like, my wife's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm not playing the Blue Bayou Biker Fest in Des Moines. So, yeah, he is underrated, and a lot of it is. Well, I have one of those. I have a framed picture of. Let me show it to you guys. I'll. Since we're talking a little bit of memorabilia here. I mean, I don't have this Buster Douglas glove, but it's in a nice area. Let's see here. I mean, here's like, an Ultimate Warrior. That's probably not worth too much, but like, it's in pristine condition. Here's a picture of the Immaculate Reception with the great Franco Harris. Autographs a little faded, but still one of the great plays in football history. Now, I'm going to have to turn the lights on for you guys to see this. We're in the dark. Did Lois go to the bathroom? Man, it stinks up here. So here is, as you can see, the steel curtain. And you can see autographs. It is autographed. They're kind of faded, to be honest with you, but that's all right. There is Ernie Holmes, Jack Lambert. That looks to be like Donnie Shell. There's Mean Joe Green, L.C. Greenwood. I'm not sure where Dwight White is. That could be Dwight White right there. And yeah, there's one autograph you can barely see. And then, yeah, I mean, there's an Earl Campbell thing. Lawrence Taylor. Excuse me. And here's the great Vinnie Vincent. I don't even think he signed that motherfucker. Here's a Motley Crue thing. The Maurice the Rocket Richard. That's got to be worth a few bucks. There's another Vinnie Vincent autograph picture. Bobby Rock has been on my podcast, Inappropriate Earl. Tim Hunter, the great hockey player Tim Hunter. Vinnie Vincent. See, that autograph looks different than this autograph. So he probably just had a manager sign it. There's Michael Talbot from Miami Vice, played Detective Stan Switek. Here's another autograph of Michael Talbot. And that's about it here. I gotta make sure I don't fall down the stairs, which, knowing my luck, I'd fall down the stairs and break my neck for 11 people. Ho! There's the great Rudy Poshek framed picture with blood on the sleeve, the right sleeve. I mean, there's Rudy's autograph. I forget who else signed it. I think that might be Dan Grattan. He's a pretty tough dude. The great Rudy Poshek. one of the great cult tough guys from the late 80s and early 90s. Yeah, but usually, I mean, I am the same way too. When I sign a signature, it's not completely the same, but it's also, um, it looks relatively the same, if you know what I'm saying. So, um, it's just the way it is, I guess. Like those two V's are completely different. And you got to figure he was just, if it was Vinnie Vincent, he's just signing shit. Like, give me, and he's probably like, it's almost like a laser cut. It's like that Lex Luger audio. You just, here, Earl, here's 10 8 by 10 sign. They're going to look, reasonably the same. Do you still have the Ritz cracker sleeve? Come on, man. We don't divulge into my sexual past in here. We can talk about ex-girlfriends, but I don't know if you would say Cynthia Shelby was an ex-girlfriend. Who? Probably an ex-wife to somebody. Yeah, Vinnie Vincent looks like he wears the Hillary Clinton leisure suit collection. But, he owes me my money for a box set. So either give me those goddamn cassettes or give me my money, honey. Thank you to Tom Myers for your financial contribution. I appreciate it. We'll go about 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes. And then Earl Skakel must conduct some business. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You guys are Earl soldiers in the Earl Army. Earl, did you see Vinny with Gene Simmons in his vault tour? Yeah, I mean, he definitely um, you could tell he hadn't picked up a guitar in a minute. The music business is as insane as the comedy business. Like, I mean, look at Jake E. Lee. I mean, he was so fucking discouraged from how the Osbournes treated him and how shitty the music business was. He literally moved to Vegas, and urban legend is they say he didn't pick up a guitar for 15 years. And when I saw him play his, I guess his re-debut concert with Red Dragon Cartel at the Whiskey, I mean, he was a little rusty, but he still sounded good. Yeah, 100% Zoom. I'm not counting on getting my money, honey, from Vinnie Vincent back. I mean, I know that a couple of years ago, whoever was managing him reached out to me and said, Vinny will do your podcast. He's a big fan. I'm like, great. And then he was like, for 20 grand. I'm like, no one gets paid for podcasts. And they're like, well, he turned into fucking Mel Tillis. So that was my end of trying to get Vinnie Vincent on the podcast. Um, yeah, that was sad, man. It's just like, holy fuck. But I don't know. I mean, he's gone crazy. I mean, I still think a documentary on him would work on Netflix. Even though nobody knows who he is, the story is so interesting. Started out basically writing jingles for Happy Days and Joni Loves Chachi. Is in the Dan Hartman band with G.E. Smith. Gets kicked out of Kiss 2 or 3 times because of his maniac ways. Then gets kicked out of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. And then, his first wife, the mother of his children, was, I guess, a working girl in Connecticut. She gets chopped up into pieces by a John. And then, the whole dead dogs and Tupperware containers thing. And, ripping off people with the box set and coming back. And, it's just a fascinating story. I mean, if they could do a documentary about fucking Anvil, and if you could get Kiss, you could get Gene and Paul to talk about him, and And I know, maybe G.E. Smith, not that that's going to like increase the ratings, but like there's a lot of people you could talk to who he's played with, obviously get the guys from Slaughter, and I think it'd be a really good documentary. Um, so I think it's so fucking funny. Like the scene I wrote is, show me on my couch opening up the box set and there's nothing in there. And then the next scene is me knocking on Vinny's door with the empty box set going, where are my cassettes? And then he invites me in and we do a sit down interview. Like, I, I- you know, I think even if you don't know who Vinnie Vincent is, it's a fascinating story. Um, is he popular enough? Not really, but nor was Tiger King. No one knew who the fuck Tiger King was. So if the story's good and draws you in, I think what would draw people in is you have Gene and Paul on it, and you have Mark Slaughter and Dana Strum and all these other people that he played with. Just talk about how insane he was, and it's almost like what I would do is if you don't like that beginning that I came up with about me knocking on his door like early into the um, documentary, you almost do it like the movie Predator, where you didn't see the predator till like almost 80% of the movie was over. So maybe you hold them off till the very last, 10, 15 minutes and like you make people wait. You build up the suspense and intrigue and then you just show me walking around Nashville going, "Do you know where Vinnie Vincent is?" Like I watched this um 30 for 30. Well, they don't know if no, I don't think he offed the dogs. I think they just died of natural causes and he just never buried them or cremated them. He kept them. There was a 30 for 30 on By Slamma Jamma. And it wasn't about Clyde Drexler. It was about the best player on the team. And even Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon said Benny Anders was the best player on that team. And I had never heard of Benny Anders. So what the 30 for 30 was about was essentially they send two of his teammates all over the country to find him because Benny Anders, he'd done a Jake E. Lee. He moved and didn't tell anyone where he was going. He never showed up at the reunions or he never did interviews. So, the 2 hour documentary is about an hour and a half of these guys looking for Benny Anders and then they find him. And it was really well, they really built up the search, but it didn't draw it wasn't like drawn out like it was boring. You were into these two ex teammates of his going around. I think they went to Florida, and then someone said, "Well, I think last I heard he was in Milwaukee," so they go to Milwaukee, and the last I heard he was in Detroit, Flint, and it was. I'd like to kind of do that with Benny, like you interview G.E. Smith, okay, or you interview whoever, if anyone remembered him from like Happy Days or Joni Loves Chachi, and then you interview G.E. Smith, and then you interview Gene and Paul, and you just build and build and build, and then all right, Vinny, tell us your side of the story. Um, yeah, I mean, you interview fans who, it might be funny if like halfway in the documentary that instead of me interviewing people, someone interviews me, and then what are your going? What are your go-to TV shows, past or present? I mean, past Dallas, especially the first couple early seasons. I was just J.R. Ewing's like the greatest TV villain of all time. Like it ain't even close. There's Larry Hagman and then every other bad guy. Obviously, Miami Vice, The White Shadow, um, and then currently, I mean, I love White Lotus. Although this season was a little slower than I would have liked. It was a pretty good finale. But when I think of Phi Slamma Jamma, yeah, Victoria Principal in those early seasons, my God, man. And Charlene Tilton, like a young Charlene Tilton. You want to see a young Charlene Tilton? Check out one of my favorite movies of all time, Big Wednesday. She was the girl on the beach Gary Busey was creeping on. Um, I mean, I'm a good interviewer because I know that anyone want. Let's say that Netflix says, "Hey, we'd really like to do a documentary on Benny Benson." I'm not going to talk a lot about myself because the documentary is about Vinny. So I'm actually even though he ripped me off, I'm setting him up for success. But I think if you did a slow build and you just interviewed people chronologically from his past, and I've researched him pretty good, but you just really do a deep dive. You maybe get the head of Chrysalis Records, which I think Billy Idol was on at one time, and I think Vinny got the largest record deal in the history of Chrysalis Records. Interview that guy. What was he like? And you really just build it up, and you're building this mythical like character arc, and then at the end, Vinny sits down. All right, Vinny. First of all, where's my fucking box set? And then he gives it to me. And then I say, all right, thanks, man. And I take off. I like the girl who played Goggins' wife. I liked how her teeth are fucked up and she didn't fix them. Because knowing Hollywood like I know, some casting director, or probably every casting director was like, honey, you got to get your fucking grill fixed. And she's oddly attractive to me. Like, I really mean that. So, yeah, Goggins is good at anything. Goggins is like this generation's Gene Hackman. Like, you could put Goggins in Porky's 4 and he would be good in it. So, all right, kids. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well, I think this was like her first big show. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm like Rain Man. Like nothing ever leaves my head. So, um, I could probably get a hold of Shane Black, to be honest with you. I'll look into that. I don't know if he's on Instagram. I'm assuming he must be on Instagram. I don't know if he runs his own Instagram. Most celebrities don't run their Instagram. I found that out the hard way when the last AEW wrestling show I was at, this guy who I've never met before goes, "Hey, you're Earl Skakel, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you're really funny, but I got something I got to tell you." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "When you think you're talking to Kenny Omega on his Instagram, you're actually talking to me." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, really?" So I would love to interview Shane Black just on Predator and Lethal Weapon. I want Hawkins' body found. We move. 5 meter spread. No sound. All right, you guys. Uh, but like, especially for a female, and I'm sure HBO executives wanted like a model type girl to play Walton Goggins' wife, because it would have been he's the older dude and here's the hot young wife, and I think she's hot, like great body, great eyes. I mean, I love that she didn't fix her teeth. Um, yes, thank you. Socials everywhere at Earl Skakel. I'm gonna be actually due to let's just say a friend of the show. He is editing some stand-up clips for me that I will be putting on TikTok and YouTube with captions, which through my research is, I guess stuff with captions does better. So I will give Lois a big hug. We'll give you a little last shot, excuse me, of Lois. Look at how she's sleeping. Look at that face, man. I love this fucking dog so much. I always got to check when I look at her that she's breathing, because I was watching the World Series right there. No, right there. There's the TV. And Annie got up. She was sleeping right there. She gets up. She goes right where Lois is, kisses my hand, and then goes to sleep right there. And when I went to get up to walk her, she wasn't breathing anymore. So that's how I know Annie was in heaven. So there's Lois. I want to try and be quiet because she is passed out. That's me when a stand-up comic is telling me how good they're doing. Get the fuck out of here. Major Anthony Nelson, that's also the great thing about Larry Hagman was he could play a fucking goofball like Major Anthony Nelson and then play the most evil character maybe in television history in the great J.R. Ewing. So I love you all. We'll stream tomorrow. Earl Skakel, over and out.